I mean, I guess if there's something that you want to work really hard to complain about when it comes to this game, the only thing I can think of is the fact that they didn't hit the 50-point mark, which would have been super exciting. But you know what? Pure dominance. This was a get right game. This was a game that the team needed, and this was a game that the fans deserved after what everybody went through the first two games of this season. And as far as there's so many players to give praise to give shout outs to, but the number one player that I'm going, and this isn't even a hot take, this is just common sense. The player that deserves the game ball, no doubt, is the player that I think I would argue had the best individual defensive performance for this team in at least the last 25 years. The entire time that I've been following the team, this is the best defensive performance that I have seen by an individual player. The game ball needs to go to Isaiah Rodgers. He got a pick six, two forced fumbles, two total touchdowns. He's the first Vikings player with two defensive touchdowns in one game. This is going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, you remember the Isaiah Rodgers game? Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. It was great. And even beyond Isaiah Rodgers, the defensive performance overall at all three levels was great because the defense had 171 yards allowed, four sacks, five takeaways, and two defensive touchdowns. LDR, Eric Wilson, continuing to make plays that, worst case, they're depth pieces. Well, in the case of LDR, he's an automatic depth piece because Jalen Redmond, he's your nose tackle. And then your other two, 3, 4 defensive ends is going to be Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen. But in the case of Eric Wilson, Ivan Pace Jr., he's been struggling. This game, he did pretty good. He had 12 tackles to Eric Wilson's 7. That worst case, Eric Wilson can be depth, but Ivan Pace Jr., you're going to have to build yourself up to get back to that bona fide starting spot opposite of Blake Cashman when he returns. Because right now, when Blake Cashman returns, I want to see more of Eric Wilson. Josh Metellus, he had an interception. And the return of Christian Darrisaw and Harrison Hitman Smith was huge. Because in JJ McCarthy's defense, the one defense I'm sure there's a couple of defenses, but the one that really sticks out is the fact that he hasn't gotten a chance to play with Christian Darrisaw yet. And the immediate impact of Darrisaw on the field, I mean, you saw it in the first drive where the Vikings, led by Carson Wentz, they scored a touchdown. That very first drive, JJ McCarthy was working with school, and obviously he's a sieve as a left tackle, and protecting his blind side is just not going to get it done. But Christian Darrisaw showed just how valuable he is with the snaps that he played. He played a lot more snaps than I thought he would. You saw Blake Brandel a couple of times at left tackle. I think the only concerning part in the offensive line today was Michael Jurgens. Had a couple of penalties and gave up a few pressures here and there. But this offensive line can be good. And you went up against Trey Hendrickson. Christian Darrisaw proved that that was no problem at all. Crazy. Quality of opponent, I get it. Jake Browning, he's not good, but you can only play who you have in front of you. And it's not our fault that Joe Burrow was hurt or that the Bengals were up next on the schedule. I like the fact that they just dominated the game defensively to where it's like, all right, the confidence actually on both sides of the ball, but specifically on defense, man, I wanted to see plays made by the secondary, and boy, did they do exactly that. And even with Harrison Smith's return, the secondary seemed to be more in check, more of a cohesion between the corners and the safety. Harrison Smith made a couple of plays as well. In this video, we're going to get to the offense a little bit more than what we have specifically with the offensive line. This video is brought to you by Sleeper. New customers sign up, get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Use the promo code Randy. Now then, going to the offense beyond the offensive line, because we just talked about the offensive line. Carson Wentz, he looked comfortable. He looked poised. The moment wasn't too big for him. And it helps that he had a really good performance by the O-line, something that JJ McCarthy didn't really get, in fairness to him. But I was just in awe at how prepared he was. He looked like he was ready for the moment. 2 touchdown passes, that's pretty good to have in a debut for your new team. Jordan Mason, the run game, there was a healthy balance of run and pass. It wasn't just pass, 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 defense, 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 or pass, pass, run, defense, defense, defense. There was a healthy balance of the run and the pass. Jordan Mason, I've been saying it. It's been so frustrating to watch this man, 27, on the sidelines, not get the rightful opportunities that he deserved. Well, he got it today. And this man ran for a $116 and 2 touchdowns. That's amazing. Hopefully, KOC actually noticed finally, because I would think you would have no choice but to notice a $116 and 2 touchdowns, that moving forward, even whenever Aaron Jones is healthy, Jordan Mason is the guy. That is the bruiser that you need, that any team that's going to go far in the season, whether it's, win a bunch of games in the regular season and or make a playoff run of some sort, those teams, they almost always have a bruiser of a running back. You can't sit here and putt your way with Aaron Jones. Situationally, sure. But with Aaron Jones, the major difference between Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones is time after time with Aaron Jones, this Vikings offense was put in third and long situations. Today, the amount of third and manageable, third and short situations, because of Jordan Mason, the lead back, it was like night and day. We need to see that the rest of this season. And Aaron Jones, sprinkle him in once in a while situationally. I'm not going to go down that road of quarterback controversy. Oh my God, Carson Wentz should be the guy the rest of the year. JJ McCarthy is not on IR. They have no plans to put him on IR. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. What I will say is the Bengals, that's one thing. If you can do it against like higher quality opponents with Carson Wentz as your starter, great. You continue to ride the hot hand. Otherwise, all right, if it all falls apart going up against the better opponents, then all right, maybe you put in JJ McCarthy, but I'm not going to make some declaration to say this is what should happen. Ride the hot hand and then make your decision after that, because trying to switch things up, this was the type of game that this team needed to get their energy going, to make them just, oh, snap, that's right. We're a good football team. What happened the first 2 games, it's whatever. That's in the past. But in the present, look out. And I will also say, though, in terms of the Carson Wentz start, with Carson Wentz, obviously he was able to operate the offense more efficiently than McCarthy has shown so far, which means, and we saw it in this game today, that Carson Wentz can get off the scripted plays, the scripted drives for KOC. Talked about this before, how in years past, KOC was one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, on the scripted drives, to where the Vikings always got off to a hot start. Their first possession in this game, they got a touchdown. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out in terms of how the season goes. Is it another one of those 2017 situations where the quarterback comes in, or not so much 09, but more so 17, where the quarterback comes in for the quarterback in place of the quarterback that you originally planned to carry you on that season and good things happen? Is that what's going to happen again in 2025? I have no idea. I'm just going to take it week by week, but that was fun to watch. We, the fans, deserved that type of performance, especially after the first two games. We deserve that. I'm glad we got that. The only thing to complain about is that they didn't get 50 points. So the hell what? The Vikings, are they back? Who knows? We'll see. We're on our way to Pittsburgh.